evening and welcome back to the channel. Tonight, just doing an impromptu video on the state of some of my player runs. So I have 4 players I'm going to share with you and we'll get right into it. First one is not a Hall of Famer and the last 3 are. So don't care about this player, just fast forward probably about a minute and a half, be on to the next. First player is Ted Kluszewski from the Cincinnati Reds. He also played for the Chicago White Sox and Pittsburgh Pirates briefly, and also I think it was the LA Angels at the time. This is my very first Ted Kluszewski card. The 52 tops, in the self-graded poor condition. So I'm just going to try to run these across. Hopefully they'll stay in focus there. All right. There's this 53. These aren't necessarily in perfect order. This is a recent pickup of the 1950 Bowman. Thought this was particularly sharp. Couldn't pass it up. Trying to stay off of eBay these days, getting me in trouble. Going on an eBay ban, maybe. Not forever, just a hiatus. How about eBay hiatus? Here's the 55 tops. This was a gift from Drew at Clean Cheap Shots, who, in his last video, it looks like he lost a race to a turtle, maybe. I'm not sure. Here's the 54, which, well, shoot, I should put that kind of between there, kind of keep these somewhat in order. Here's the 54 tops, one of the few ones where he's smiling. I really like this card. Yellow background on the 54 and 55 with that blue hat, it's pretty cool. Here's the classic, the ones everyone wants to see, guns out, sun's out. The 57. This is one I picked up, I think, near the end of last year in December. So this run's coming along quite well. I'm not sure I'm able to fit everybody in here. I've had this one for a while too. This is one of only 2 cards with the Pirates. He would end up with the White Sox into the 59 season and played in that World Series for the Sox against the Dodgers. He hit 2 home runs in that series. For a guy who had lost most of his power to back problems, massive back injury, that's pretty cool. Good for Ted. Okay, next we're gonna go with Frank Robinson. How's that run going? Well, this was my oldest Frank Robinson card of the run. Pinholes, so a shout out to Mookie Wilson's World Headquarters. World Headquarters for Pinhole Cards. Blah, blah. So I picked this up for next to nothing a little while back, last year, year before, I can't remember now. Graded it myself. Pour one with a pinhole. But everyone loves this card, the 59. This is not this specific one in my collection, but this issue of the 59 tops Frank Robinson is one of the beloved ones in the hobby. The hobby channels seem to like this one the best of a lot of his run. This was a pickup from this year, pretty recent, actually. Here's the 62 tops. Love that follow through swing there. Wow, how about a 65 tops, which I showed recently in a video with my favorite set from the vintage days, 65 tops. This is second to last year at the Reds. Here is my very first vintage card I ever got. And obviously first Frank Robinson card. And I'll follow it up with the most recent one that I've gotten. I'm pretty happy about this. This was a major goal for the year. I finally found one that fit the budget and the appearance, overall eye appeal. Tough card. I've been searching for a nice one for a while. Finally got the Frank Robinson rookie. Sorry, 3D80s kid. I'm not buying a lot of rookies late anymore, but this one I believe this card, these Hall of Famers, even though he's kind of undervalued in the hobby because he played for a small market team. Let's face it. Good for me. These are just going to keep going up, and guys that I wanted to get the rookie card, I should have gotten it years ago. The prices are just past the point I'm willing to pay. I'm just not going to pay that kind of money for those kind of cards. I'll let you guys do that, those that can afford it. This is very tough. I know I'm getting glare from the camera. Sorry about that. But this is very tough to get with no snowing and just a bright, vibrant color. I love it. There's a tad bit of snowing or scratching there. Very tough to not get that in the stands at all. But on his sleeves in particular, it's usually very noticeable on the sleeves of the undershirt and his cap. Just really super happy to have this long time search over with. I'm going to complete his run, the Reds run for sure, but I also have a few here of his Orioles cards, okay? This has been in my collection a long time, and I'm a big fan of 69 Topps, and Vintage on Vintage Steve out there, shout out to him, has been doing a lot of collecting of 69 Topps lately. Loves that set, so do I. And this 72 Topps, wouldn't believe that's what the grade was, but it's what it is. I think the corners are weak, but I'm not going to talk about the condition much. Very nice card. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it in there. And then this is a pickup from last month. His last days as a player. He has one more playing days card as a manager for, maybe he was a player manager, I can't remember now, for the 75 Topps. But I always like to look at this. He's kind of looking over his shoulder like, dude, don't even ask me. I've been playing ball for longer than you've been in grade school. That didn't sound right. I've been playing baseball since you were in grade school. There we go. I love that pink on the California Angels on this 74 Topps. Really cool card. Okay, so I don't think it's going to fit. Let's move on now to Eddie Mathews. Eddie Mathews here is a recent pickup. I just saw it. I thought about, usually I like to think about these overnight. Get up and then hit the buy button if I'm going to do it. Nope. I thought about it for about an hour and I'm like, no, I don't really care what it's priced at. I thought it was a decent price. It just isn't doing justice. Sorry guys, camera glare. 54 Topps, smiling Eddie Mathews. Trying to keep him in this shot here. I'm going to have trouble with the last player. I don't know what I'm going to do. I guess we'll figure it out. I might have to shoot another segment. And here's his 56 Topps. I've acquired it this year. I've been busy getting Eddie Mathews cards, it seems like. I'm sure I overpaid for this. But I don't care. Not drastically overpaid, I hope, but I don't care. It's the enjoyment there. Around about the same time, I picked up this, the 55 Bowman of his. Such a young look there on his face. Seeing that. You know what? I know I just missed it. I forgot to pull his 60 tops out. But I've shown it before on the channel, so go back and look at an older video of mine. You'll see it on there. Might have been on my favorite SGC countdown by grade video I did back in December 2024. Here's the 58 Sport All-Star. I really like this card. This was a surprise return from PSA earlier this year. I was stunned with the grade it got. The 61 and the 8. It's the highest grade on a vintage card I've ever gotten back from PSA. I don't send a ton of them. I haven't graded very much lately. I have another video where I'm going to talk about that a little bit, show you some of the last cards I think I might send off for grading to collectors for a while, for SGC and a couple for PSA to complete my Vada Pinson run. Here's the 62 tops. I might have picked this up last year or the year before, I don't recall. I think it was last year, because that 91, someone got it graded, I think probably last year. Really like that card. Okay, now we're going to do Stan the Man. I don't know how I'm going to do this, so bear with me and I'll be right back. All right, on to segment 2 and the last player. Compromised a little bit, rearranged the cards in a brief pause there. So I compromised and kept two of my more favorite Ted Kluszewski cards up there in the corners, flanking Frank Robinson, just his Reds run I've got at this point. Okay, so the Stan the Man. So last year I went on sort of a thought of wanting to complete a Hall of Famers player run, and that has become, and try to do it fairly quickly, and it's become a tough thing to do, prices and all, and some players have very lengthy card runs. And this player does too, to a point if you add the Leaf and the Bowman cards to the pile. I mean, it's not super long. I thought a lot of those cards are kind of out of my reach. Like the 52 Bowman is just a beautiful card. Love his Ricky card. Just tons of great cards he has before his Topps run. But in 1958, he did an All-Star card. I'm going to show that one in a minute, but I'm going to show the first. Oh, let's just do it in order. We'll just do it in order. And this is the card that resulted in that. The 58 Topps All-Star of Stan the Man Musial. This is a phenomenal 3. Really feel like it's pretty phenomenal just looking 3s from SGC lately. Those just look great together. I might display them side by side at some point when I get my display set up. I need to build it. So here is, well, I'm just gonna have to go with that. Some are gonna be kind of cut off. This was my first Topps Stan Musial. I've had this for some time. I really liked, his smile and the batting pose there on the 62 Topps. It's one of my favorite 60 sets. Trying to add more to that run, the set run. Now here's the one I needed. The last one I needed, and I picked this up at the end of last month, was the 59. And all right, it's kind of in a sleeve, I don't care. A little bit of a glare. I'll try to get that out. I apologize, I hate doing that, but I forgot that this was on here. I won't ask the question. I thought about asking you guys, would you send this off to get graded? So I had the complete graded run, but I clearly haven't done that with Frank Robinson. I'm not going to do it with Stand the Man either. I'm going to grade this myself and slab it with these Z mags. As Drew likes to say, I've joined the Z mag street gang. So this will be in a Z mag at some point. That was the 59. Of course, also that year was the 59 Musial Wraps Out 3000th hit. I found this in my local card shop in a box and sent it off to SGC last year. This is a beautiful card, I think. So there's that. Not his base. It's not his base card run, but I thought it was just nice to kind of have that. He has a couple other cards out there with that I don't have. So move on to 1960 Topps. This is also LCS pickup, and I knew it had problems, but I don't care. I just think it looks beautiful in this slab. This is when I was in kind of my grading craze of late last year, or mid last year, I'd say, into late last year. Here's the 61 I picked up this year. So I've been active trying to get his run. It took me just about from like I said, late summer, so probably like August to August, I finished his Topps run. Here's the 61. I used to not really like this card that much until I had it in hand, and the cap, the way he's sitting on his head, I like it. Good old Stan the Man. And then the final card I will share it with you tonight. Thanks for bearing with me for almost 20 minutes. The 63. Notice it has the 62 image on it down there in the little circle. Pretty sure, if not, shot the same day. So there you have it. Some progress on my player runs of players I really like. Stan the Man's Topps run has been completed. To be determined if I'll go for any of the Bowman cards. My guess is probably, or the Leaf Rookie, probably not. Is it the Leaf or Bowman Rookie? I don't know. You guys tell me in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. My last video has gotten to almost 100 views. I'm very grateful to all you that watch, and especially grateful to those of you that comment. I really appreciate it. I enjoy commenting back. So with that said, be safe at home, everybody.